Social capital is the tie that binds us to our neighbors. So many times we have friends or family acquaintances that we know, and social capital is the network between us. Nowadays, most of us have Facebook or LinkedIn. These are social networks online, but in real life, in physical life, most of us have strong connections to people who live nearby, to people that we've known for a long time. And it's with these people, I believe, that disaster recovery occurs most strongly. I've spent about 3 years so far studying events both in the Indian Ocean tsunami and in the 2005 Hurricane Katrina. I went and interviewed survivors in both of those places. I spoke with NGOs and local business leaders, and also with the government officials in charge of the recovery processes. So I've had a chance to study in the field, both through personal experience as a survivor of Hurricane Katrina. I used to live in New Orleans. So in the process of recovery, as both a survivor and a scholar, I wanted to know more about what drives this process. What makes some areas successful and able to come back, and other areas seem unable to return after a disaster? I think that every region I've studied, whether it's New Orleans, Louisiana in America, or Tamil Nadu in India, or Tokyo and Kobe, Japan, every area has its own social capital, which can be measured in different ways. So the ways that people in India form relationships are very different, perhaps, than the ones in America or Japan. In India, for example, we're very interested in the processes of local festivals and local events. So one way of measuring how involved someone is in India is to watch how often they go to funerals or to weddings or to matsuri, or to local events and festivals. Yes, I've had a chance to visit Tohoku now twice, and I've seen very different levels of survival rates around different cities. That is, in some areas, fewer than 1% of the people were harmed or killed by the disaster. In other areas, 20% of the local population was killed by the tsunami. And a question for me as a scholar is to understand, why did some areas in Tohoku have such high rates of casualties, and other areas seem to do very well? I think I would argue that these social ties make the difference. In those areas where neighbors go and assist people who are elderly or infirm or unable to move, in those areas, I think, survival rates were higher.